call this meeting to order of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Ms. Rochelle, would you be so kind to take roll?
Yes. Mr. Reed?
Here.
Mr. Chalam-Sherla?
Here.
Ms. Larrett?
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Here.
And Mr. Clark?
Here.
All are present.
All right, thank you, ma'am. With that being said, I know there's no public comments. We'll head into closed session where we'll discuss student matters, employer-employee relations, conference with legal counsel, and personnel matters. So we'll adjourn into closed session. Awesome. All right, today is Thursday, November 20th, and I'd like to call this meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District to order. Ms. Rochelle, could you take roll, please?
Yes. Ms. Lopez-Petracca?
Here.
Ms. Long?
Here.
Mr. Reed?
Here.
Mr. Chalam-Sherla?
Here.
Ms. Larrett?
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Here.
Mr. Reed? Sorry.
Still here.
Excuse me, Mr.
Still here.
You're still here.
Excuse me, Mr. Clark.
I'm here.
All are present. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, and we will go with the land acknowledgement.
As the Folsom Cordova Unified School District, we acknowledge that our administrative facilities and schools occupy the unceded territory of the Nishanan and Miwok, the original people of the skies, land, and waters where we work and learn.
We also recognize the presence and ancestral stewardship of the Nishanan ancestral tribes, the Esto, Notamuse, and Nisim Pewanan to the north.
And the Miwok ancestral tribes, the Amashune, Consumne, Halapune, and Mokalumne to the south along the Great Sacramento River system since time immemorial.
We understand that this land upon which our institutions are built was once flourishing with natural resources and sustained by ancestral knowledge and practices of these indigenous communities.
We acknowledge the injustices of colonialism and attempted genocide that have impacted these communities and recognize the resilience of their descendants who continue to thrive today.
In our daily endeavors of teaching, learning, leadership, and community engagement, we commit to supporting, respecting, and honoring their culture, traditions, and lifeways.
We pledge to work together for the evolving vision of the Miwok and Nishanan, especially for all future generations.
All right, thank you. And with that being said, we are going to have a special guest, Ms. Rowan, come up and lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic in which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, how cool was that? All right, a broadcast and recording is being made at the direction of the board, and the broadcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed on the district's YouTube channel. The recording will be cablecast with replays on Metro Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast cable system. The recording will also be closed captioned and video streamed at Metro 14 Live, saccounty.gov. The Folsom Cordova Unified School District Board Policy 1313 promotes mutual respect, civility, orderly conduct among employees, parents, and the public. We will treat staff, parents, and members of the public with respect and ask them the same in return. If any member of the public uses obscenities or communicates in a demanding, loud, insulting, and/or demeaning manner, the board will calmly and politely admonish the person to communicate civilly. Public comments during board meetings are an important component of public engagement and transparency. Members of the public will not be permitted to yield their speaking time to another member of the public. All written comments submitted by 2 p.m. today to the board have been read. Per the Brown Act, the board is not allowed to enter in a two-way discussion on any matter not on the agenda. And with that, we'll go on to item D, District Recognition Month. Superintendent?
Yeah, as we do with all the celebration months from the district, November is the celebration of California Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation Month, and I believe we have someone here to do our presentation. Welcome.
Good evening, Board President Clark, members of the board, and Superintendent Swanson. I'm Namrata Mishra, Equity Leader and Attendance Clerk at Folsom Middle School. Tonight, I'm here to talk about California Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation Month. As we begin, I'd like to share a bit about this year's Sikh Heritage Month theme. At its heart, it speaks to a deep sense of inner peace, one that comes from connecting with something greater than ourselves. It points us towards a joy that isn't tied to circumstances, and a reminder that real wholeness comes from recognizing the unity we share with one another and with the whole world around us. In 2014, California set aside the month of November to recognize and celebrate the Sikh American community. It was a way for the state to acknowledge their impact, encourage deeper understanding, and affirm that there is no place for discrimination or hate in our communities. Sikhism began in Punjab region more than 5 centuries ago. And today, the Sikh community is an important part of the fabric of our country. With hundreds of thousands of Sikhs calling the US home at its core, the faith is grounded in principles like treating everyone with dignity, giving back through service, and recognizing our shared unity. This slide highlights key points in Sikh American history. Early Sikh immigrants arrived through Angel Island, and by 1912, the first Gurudwara in the United States was established in Stockton. Sikhs continued to serve and contribute even in times when they weren't granted full rights, such as during World War II. A major milestone came in 1956 when Dalip Singh Saun became the first Sikh American elected to Congress. And more recently, we have seen communities like Yuba City grow into some of the largest Punjabi American populations in the country. Each of these moments reflects both resilience and deep civic engagement. As we continue, we want to take a moment to highlight notable figures from the Sikh community who have made remarkable contributions. One such inspiring individual is Fauja Singh, often called the Turban Tornado. He began running marathons at the age of 89 after personal loss and went on to complete races around the world well into his hundreds. While official records couldn't fully document his age, his history is a powerful example of perseverance, faith, and idea that it's never too late to achieve something extraordinary. Continuing with the notable figures in the Sikh community, Valerie Kaur has been a powerful voice for civil rights and social justice. After 9/11, she rose to prominence advocating against hate crimes, targeting Sikh, Muslim, and South Asian Americans. As a lawyer, filmmaker, and founder of the Revolutionary Love Project, her TED Talk and best-selling book have inspired many. Valerie's work continues to mobilize interfaith and social justice movements, making her one of the leading Sikh voices in the United States today. Now we turn our focus closer to home, celebrating members of our own FCUSD family. Among our Sikh employees, we have dedicated bus drivers like Shindipal Kaur, Jasveer Kaur, Gurpal Singh, whose daily contributions help keep our schools running smoothly. Recognizing them reminds us that richness of the Sikh community is all around us, not just in history or global accomplishments. As we wrap up, I hope this celebration of California Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month has given us a deeper appreciation for the rich history, values, and contributions of the Sikh community, both globally and right here in our FCUSD family. From remarkable figures like Fauja Singh and Valerie Kaur to our own dedicated employees, we see examples of perseverance, service, and unity that inspires us all. May this month be a reminder to honor those contributions, embrace understanding, and carry forward the spirit of connection and respect in our daily lives. Thank you for taking the time to learn, reflect, and celebrate together. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nell. All right, item E, we are going on to Secondary School Spotlight, Adult Ed.
Yeah, I'd like to invite the team up to the podium. I will say, I think oftentimes school districts were thought of as like pre-K 12, preschool to 12th grade districts. Most districts have adult education, but not every district has the incredible adult education that FCUSD has. And I'm really excited that you're here to celebrate today. So welcome.
Good evening, President Clark, board members, Superintendent Swanson, and members of the Executive Cabinet. My name is Colette McDonald, and I serve as the Assistant Principal at Folsom Cordova Adult School. I'm joined by Alicia Alejo, our Academic Advisor, and two of our recent completers who you'll meet in a moment. Our mission and primary focus at the adult school is to bring living wage jobs to Folsom and Rancho Cordova residents. Here is a snapshot of our current enrollment. The largest of our three major programs areas is English language development. Students can also take citizenship prep and language development integrated career classes. We currently have 560 students in 16 leveled classes in person, online, and in our Rancho Cordova community schools. Due to our long and slow-moving wait lists, we are starting asynchronous instruction in January for those who are waiting for a spot in a class. And now let's hear from one of our CTE completers.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. While working as a program coordinator at a local organization, I decided to upskill by joining the Microsoft Office Specialist program offered at the FCUSD Adult School, where I gained valuable skills. Thanks to the incredible guidance of Ms. Alicia Alejo, our transition specialist, I was able to get my international master's degree from Germany, evaluated, and transition towards a career in education, which is my passion. I'm now happy to be a part of FCUSD as a sub-teacher. This school truly reflects the district's vision of empowering all learners to thrive through educational excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Zarmina. Good evening. At our adult school, we offer both high school equivalency and high school diploma completion programs. As of today, we already have 17 graduates. 145 students are currently enrolled in our high school programs. The demand is high and remains dynamic. As one student graduates, another begins their journey. Let's hear from one of our completers.
Hello, my name is Deshara Moye. I graduated from Folsom Cordova Adult School in May of 2025. Attending this school has truly given me a second chance to go back and continue my education. The self-paced program allowed me to balance my day-to-day responsibilities while working toward my high school diploma. Even though the program is flexible, the staff continuously encouraged and motivated me to stay on track and finish strong. One of the most special parts of my journey was discovering that I wasn't alone in it. I graduated alongside my nephew, my cousin-in-law. We didn't even realize we were all attending in the same school until graduation. In addition, I have two other cousins who graduated Folsom Cordova Adult School years before me. It's amazing to see how members of my family have been positively impacted by this program. Folsom Cordova Adult School offers so much more than just a diploma. It opens doors to new opportunities, providing job training and skill-building programs that prepare students for the workforce. This school has shown me that education is not just about finishing high school, it's about building a better future. I'm proud to be a part of this community and forever grateful for the inspiration, support, and second chance it has given me. Thank you.
Our CTE program serves about 200 students in workforce and credentialing classes. New cohorts start every 4 to 12 weeks, giving students flexible entry points year-round. We offer training in high-demand fields like Microsoft Office certification, medical assisting, phlebotomy, pharmacy tech, and other various medical classes. These programs provide hands-on skills and industry credentials, helping students move quickly into strong career pathways. Our SMUD pre-apprenticeship electrical program is the first step in preparing students for careers in an electrical industry. We serve new cohorts of 30 students every 6 weeks. Partnership with FCUSD programs. Our literacy and English language development programs for parents at Cordova Meadows and Williamson have been so successful that we're opening a third site soon. In December, we're launching the welding program, the first time in 5 years. Spots are filling quickly, showing strong community interest. A special thanks to Alan Sims, Shannon Spears, and the Kenny team for helping us make this happen. Every semester, we train paraprofessionals to be ready to take high-demand jobs at FCUSD. These pictures shown here from a recent mock interview show an interview opportunity with school and district administrators. Watch for our spring job fair in conjunction with Folsom Cordova Community Partnership because everyone deserves access to a living wage job. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. And congratulations. All right.
President Clark, a couple things. Can I make a couple comments? And I know they're adults, but can we take a picture since we've been taking a picture?
Oh, we've been doing that
yeah.
all year.
But a couple things, real quick. I remember you from graduation.
Yes, I do too.
It was an awesome day. I wanted to say that, as you can see from the presentation, our adult school is doing an amazing job. So they're going to be presenting in January at the Rancho Cordova City Council because I think it's important for everyone in the community to know. I'd love to figure out how to get away onto the Folsom City Council agenda as well to take advantage of the program. And then that leads me to my one question is that there's a waiting list. Is that because of space or staffing? What's the waiting list about?
That's a good question. The demand is so high.
Yeah.
Particularly this year, we're noticing it's very high and we don't have enough classes to serve.
Like space, like classrooms?
Classrooms.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
The demand is very high.
Cool.
So that's why we're opening at elementary schools to serve the parents of the students. But even then, the demand is very high.
I visited the Williamson class.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, you ready for a picture?
Yeah,
Students in the middle.
Sure.
That's the rule.
Yep. What you're gonna do is have you come right up.
Awesome.
Right up in the front. That looks really good, really good. Okay, look up here at me, 1, 2, 3. Couple. All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all. Great job.
All right, we'll head on to item 5, reporting out of closed session, Superintendent.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, sir. Item 6, adoption of agenda.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Larrett.
Second?
Second by Board Member Charlton. Ms. Rochelle?
Yes. Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Aye.
Ms. Wong?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Ferla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 7, we'll do the agenda consent.
We
Mr.
need to
Clark?
pull a couple items.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. All right, so who's pulling?
I will pull them, I think it's D and E, please.
D&E, yes, ma'am.
If
All
we could
right.
also add item L from community request.
And student board members, D and E is to recuse yourself, just so you know.
We're looking at item L.
Correct.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Lofthouse,
I'll second.
second by Board Member Reed. Ms. Rochelle?
Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Abstain.
Ms. This is for the
Everything else.
everything
For
else.
everything else except.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Ferla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, we'll go into item D.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Laird,
I'll second.
second by Board Member Lofthouse. Ms. Rochelle?
Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Abstain.
Ms. Long?
Abstain.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Ferla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Item E.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Lofthouse.
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Charlton. Ms. Rochelle?
Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Abstain.
Ms. Luong?
Abstain.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Ferla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Looks like we're looking at item L. Any public comment on that?
Yes, we have Mr. Smith. If you'd like to come to the podium.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Swanson, the district. Can we put the thing up there? This would be 4118. I want to point this out to, down there, yeah. I want to point this out to you guys. Reading from suspension/dismissal procedures to the fourth paragraph. It clearly outlines, for instance, the second paragraph, when the board finds that there is cause to suspend or dismiss an employee pursuant to. It also furthermore, it states in here that the board would vote on that. I do see where it says superintendent, it says the superintendent shall notify the board whenever there is a cause to suspend or dismiss an employee pursuant to. And then if you look at the other action, the policy of 4218 says the governing board expects all employees to perform their job satisfactory, to exhibit professional appropriate conduct, and to serve as positive role models. I don't know, to me, this seems like you guys are responsible, show some responsibility to actions of teachers. when the CDE makes a ruling that the teacher enacted in retaliation discrimination. When the teacher runs around telling students there's no money to go to festivals because a parent and student is suing her. You guys have record there's no lawsuit been filed. There's multiple acts of violating the code of conduct for teachers, but yet there's no action. This is why when I've met with you guys individually, I said that my friend says you guys hold some level of responsibility. A teacher does not have free will or reign to do whatever they want. Think about it. What job gives you free will to do whatever you want? There's rules and there's policies, but I constantly see the rules and the policies of the district being violated, and they're being ignored at the risk of the children. The customer is the child.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
All right, any questions from the board? I do have one, Superintendent. Was this a policy that was recommended through CSBA?
Absolutely, sir. So this policy 4218 was reviewed by the policy subcommittee on August 20th and was including the CSBA recommended revisions from March of 24. And as some of you may recall, we brought this to the board for consideration on September 18th. There was a public comment that requested we pull the policy to be reviewed back with that input. And then therefore the policy was reviewed again on October 22nd, 2025 at the policy subcommittee meeting. And the changes that were made from the original submission from CSBA to this one is the line both at school and in the community. So the line reads, to exhibit professional and appropriate conduct and to serve as positive role models, period. And then with that, our policies, the ones for personnel, when you see a 1 as the second digit, so 4118 is for certificated staff and 4218 is for classified staff. The comment was by a classified staff member on 4218, but to align the language, we brought forth 4118 as well and eliminated both at school and the community as well.
Right, yep, that's what I wanted to hear. All right, thank you. With that, any other questions, comments from the board? Miss Daddy. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Laird,
I'll second.
second by Board Member Lofthouse. Miss Rochelle.
Yes, Ms. Lopez Petracca.
Aye.
Ms. Long. Mr. Reed.
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Churla.
Aye.
Ms. Larrett.
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse.
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we'll go on to item 8, special presentation. There are none, none by staff.
Oh,
Well, there is.
There is one, yep.
By staff.
Look at Dr. Peace. She was like, what?
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, so Superintendent, I'll turn that over to you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Inviting Dr. Peace up. I believe there's a couple other folks that are coming to present as well, which we're excited about. I don't want to steal any of the thunder, so the title is Building Pathways, Building Futures. This has been a long time coming, this conversation about reimagining alternative education. Dr. Peace, the floor is yours.
Right. Good evening, President Clark, members of the board, and Superintendent Swanson. Tonight, our Alternative Education Reimagine Work Group is honored to present the progress that we've made over the past couple of years as we reimagine alternative education to better meet the diverse needs of students within Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Our work has been focused on envisioning, not coming up with a complete program design, but really taking a step back and imagining what could we bring to our students and to the community that's new, innovative, and helping students achieve their most vibrant potential as they prepare to go into the workforce and into career and college, I'm sorry. Our team includes certificated and classified staff with meaningful participation from students and parents throughout the process. Our vision for the new school on Prospect Park Drive is to design and implement a comprehensive support program that identifies, engages, and supports students' academic, social, emotional needs, and ensuring equitable access to educational success. We envision a school that expands choice to students enrolled in our current alternative education programs, while also providing additional pathways for other high school students across FCUSD. We also envision a school that increases access to a wide variety of academic courses and learning modalities, including early education and dual enrollment opportunities. Providing seamless movement between pathways for students, regardless of the school that they attend, supported by early interventions. Continue to support students in their completion of A through G coursework and meet college and career readiness within a small, supportive campus community. We also envision a school that prepares students to graduate with a diploma and/or industry-recognized certifications, equipping them with immediate employment and college success. So why are we even having this discussion or engaging in this work? We recognize the need to modernize and reimagine alternative education so that it evolves to meet the needs of our students and remain responsive and relevant. We know that district-developed schools are uniquely positioned to provide the supports, resources, and continuity that our students need to succeed, something that external options cannot consistently offer. Enrollment-driven funding creates a challenging paradox. We need resources to grow and innovate, but growth itself depends on high-quality, competitive programs to be in place. Central to this work is the commitment to equity and access, providing multiple pathways that address the unique needs of our students, ensuring that every learner has the opportunity to succeed. Right now, we're going to highlight the strong foundation that our current alternative educational programs have set forth for schools and staff.
Hi, so looking at our current program here at Kenny High School, which is the continuation ed school in Rancho Cordova, it's the credit recovery program. It allows our students to get back on track. It's focuses smaller class sizes, targeting supports for those students who have complex needs while also building that community feel. Oftentimes you'll hear us refer to ourselves as the Kenny family, trying to welcome everyone on board. We are a community school and we are very proud of that fact, and we work very hard to ensure that we bring that feel to everyone that comes onto our campus and feels welcome. It's one of our strengths. Miss Emma Falcon is here. I don't know where she's at. Is she back? There she is. She's our community schools facilitator. She helps facilitate a lot of those needs, from just greeting everyone at our front porch, which you'll see in some of the slide pictures, as well as having our students just feel connected and better supported in our community. And that goes along with our cultural appreciation days, as well as our holiday meals, which I'm sure most of you have come and been a part of, which is just one of those positive climates and things that we build at our school. And it, again, comes back to that student life. So we have a soccer and a basketball team that allows us to compete with other alternative ed schools. We have mental health and wellness groups that are ongoing, as well as the CTE and programs we have is a culinary kitchen, which I know has provided food for the board, as well as other events here. And then we have a welding program, which has gone off to other welding competitions and try to connect kids with a career opportunity. So those industry sectors currently are the hospitality and tourism with the culinary arts, as well as the industry pathway for welding. We are looking at trying to get it dual enrolled. We're having an issue currently with the college end, not our end, of getting those credits for the welding. As well as we also have a nice art program where Silver students are placing pretty well actually at several art events, including the City Hall one that just recently occurred.
Good evening. Although Innovations was born out of the needs of the pandemic, its design was to last a lot longer than that. In order to provide have our district to be able to provide alternative educational options for all of our students. One thing that we really recognized when developing this school, especially at the time that it was developed, is that we're preparing our students, all our students within our district, for careers that don't exist yet, problems that haven't been created with solutions that haven't been invented. So one of our 3 core values are innovation, collaboration, and then self-empowerment. And so one of the reasons why innovations is so important to our families is it provides them control over their educational environment when the traditional environment doesn't fit them. So it allows them a lot more flexibility, a lot more control, but also to be able to still have the best supports of a direct instruction model and still be able to expand themselves. So I have a quote here for one of our students that to describe this. And she had said that innovations has been awesome and helpful experience for me since I'm a very shy person, and being able to attend such a school makes everything else less overwhelming and more flexible. This school also makes me less nervous to attend school, and those needs we see are day-to-day happening. So through alternative options like Kinney, Walnutwood, and innovations, it allows our district to really be able to touch and to support every single student that we have. I'm going to welcome up one of my teachers, Jessica, to speak about Walnutwood.
I'm Jessica, and I'm probably the nervous Nellie in the group. So I'm delighted to be here to share the incredible work happening at Walnutwood High School, where our focus is dedicated personalized success for each and every one of our students. Our offerings focus on key programs and support designed to meet diverse student needs, and we provide high-touch care, including our unique adolescent parent program with on-site childcare for our pregnant and parenting teens. We ensure students always have help throughout the day through daily in-person and online support, and targeted academic assistance like math and science support and in-person labs. Our Folsom satellite, which I call my home, also offers a crucial study space, appointments, and SEL connections for our independent learners. Our commitment is reflected in our options and outcomes. By helping students successfully overcome credit deficiency, we have achieved increased graduation rates and are proud to celebrate our early achievers, including 13 junior graduates last year. Students gain a crucial head start through dual enrollment with community college and our wonderful concurrent enrollment through other Folsom Cordova schools. Our comprehensive post-high school program support has led to 62% of our graduates currently being enrolled in 2- and 4-year programs. Beyond academics, we prioritize our student life and culture. We increase connectedness through meaningful activities. We provide essential care through our mental health and wellness groups. And whether students are pursuing work experience or technical theater or welding or participating in athletics at their school of residence, Walnutwood is a place of support, opportunity, and belonging.
Okay, so this work began during the 2023-24 school year amongst a group of educators who were focused on identifying challenges and exploring potential solutions. During the 24-25 school year, we began hosting monthly meetings with the support of our amazing facilitator, Nina, to study the model of local alternative programs and to consider how those approaches would meet the needs of Folsom Cordova students. This year, we've shifted to bi-weekly meetings, deepening our work, addressing the specific needs of the school. We've also collaborated with the DLR group, and they've taken us through several meaningful activities to better understand our current programs and translate our vision into the planning process.
Thank you. As was spoken about in the previous slide, human-centered design is at the center of all the work that was developed by the D School at Stanford. And the process that we are following is a refinement of that was done between the K-12 network at Stanford and the Center National Equity Projects. At the center of this diagram are the words notice and reflect. This is part of every aspect of the process and is intended to ensure we are creating a learning environment that is responsive to the needs of the students we serve. From empathizing to imagining to prototyping, our work seeks to develop an understanding of who our students are and creating an environment that allows them to be seen and to be successful.
During our visits to model schools, our team identified several key practices that resonated strongly with our vision. These programs place a high emphasis on empathy, truly understanding and responding to student needs. We saw students light up when experiencing wellness spaces. Many were taking photos and they were just really imagining like how that could look at their specific school sites. It was pretty remarkable to see their excitement about it. We also observed the value of strong CTE pathways, robust enrichment opportunities, and the critical role of support staff, specifically counselors, in guiding and supporting students' academic and social-emotional growth. Innovative scheduling allowed students to engage fully in those opportunities while balancing academic requirements. Finally, intentional program marketing fostered pride and recognition. Students felt respected and seen, knowing that other high schools valued their programs. These observations provided important insights as we design a new school that is engaging, equitable, and most importantly, student-centered. One of the best ways to introduce design thinking is to actually experience it. For this project, we had the group work in teams to brainstorm ideas based upon the things that we learned from the site visits that we did for model programs. So each team then defined those ideas in the context of Folsom Cordova. We generated possible solutions and we built some prototypes. Don't judge my pitiful prototype that's, that's at the bottom there. But why did we do this? We did this to help the team get comfortable with navigating ambiguity because design work is often messy and uncertain. We did this to practice looking at things from others' perspectives, to synthesize information quickly, and to be intentional about crafting solutions, as well as to move between big ideas and concrete action. We designed with the intention that we were going to take on challenges and we were going to uncover new possibilities. So let's talk a little bit about the new model. At the Prospect Park property, we intend to provide a personalized experience in an intimate learning environment that caters to the diverse needs and unique aspirations of each student. When we talk about alternative education, it's vital to clarify what it really means and what it doesn't. Alternative does not mean problem students or behavior issues. Rather, it means choice. Different pathways, different structures, different ways to learn. According to the California Department of Education, alternative schools of choice provide means for students to achieve grade level standards and meet their individual needs. Importantly, they must meet the same standards for curriculum, instruction, and student performance as a traditional school. So why does this matter in Folsom Cordova? Our vision is to create an alternative school of choice, not because of some label of at risk, but because we believe in offering meaningful options for students. This school will build on what we already do in our alternative education programs and expand on opportunities across Folsom Cordova. By doing this through a district-led model, we ensure high-quality academic programming, strong social-emotional support, and equitable access for all students who want a different way to learn, not as a last resort, but as a deliberate choice. Now I'm going to bring a member of our facilities team to talk about the new building design elements.
Good evening. So I'll start off with the design elements. We've been talking about tonight, there's ongoing instructional program meetings. In those meetings, we're talking about designing flexible classroom space and the collaboration space, which was the district standard that as we're designing the new schools. And then, having space for independent study, whether it's smaller classrooms or a small space within a standard classroom, and a strong focus on CTE programs, and then connecting with local businesses and, getting partnerships to come in and help us foster the CTE programs at this school site. The schematic design drawings, we're working through those now. We're anticipating having them, completed by the end of December. And then the design development drawings completed in March 2026. Over on the building process side, we're currently in the due diligence period of purchasing the commercial building. And when you know, kind of thinking out of the box, it was a great idea driven by the board to think about using an existing site, commercial building, to move this campus onto. And when you do that, the division of the state architect, there's certain requirements that we have to meet structurally to convert an existing commercial building into a state required facilities. And we had a meeting with the Division of State Architect, DSA, and it was actually a really good meeting. We met with our structural engineer, state architect, and our team. And what it's going to take to convert that building to meet the structural standards came in with our budget, what we're anticipating to complete this school. So that was really good information as we continue to move forward with designing this project. We also had a site walk with the California Department of Education. Those are the two agencies that we have to get approval to move forward. There was no roadblocks that we ran into in that process, so that's also good news. We're anticipating having the construction documents completed by June 2026, and then going to DSA for approval in December 2026, starting construction in March 2027, with an anticipated completion of the project in June 2028.
Excuse me, I've got a stupid cold. The brainstorm that you're seeing represented in this slide is a component of the empathy gathering that was seen on the previous slide where I talked about our process. It occurred immediately after the team charged with reimagining the work viewed the building for the first time. We felt that it was important to get their immediate reaction, which, as you can see, was extremely positive. The team members shared their excitement around the physical plant, ideas for the interior, and how all of that could support current and future programs at the school. It allowed the team to imagine how this new space will help to elevate the learning and experience of students. Imagining what the space could be is also a part of our conversations with students and families as we engage them in our process.
This visual highlights the multiple pathways and offerings we intend to make available to students within the new model at the Prospect Park location. Students can access traditional independent study or virtual learning, providing flexibility while staying connected to their educational goals. Dual enrollment and early college opportunities give students a head start on college coursework, supporting their post-secondary readiness. For clarification, early college, it's defined by you earning high school and associate degree at the same time while you're in high school, and dual enrollment classes at college while attending high school. For the SEL and wellness embedded throughout the entire program, this ensures that students' social emotional needs are supported alongside with their academics, which creates a balance and a healthy learning environment. Credit recovery options allow students to stay on track for graduation. Athletic opportunities are flexible, and students can participate in CIF-sanctioned sports at their school of residence or choose to engage in intramural sports offered at the new school. Our schools already offer A through G coursework and CTE pathways, but this new program would allow us to expand and enhance on these opportunities, meeting the diverse needs of our students. All of these pathways are designed to support college and career readiness, equipping students with the skills and experiences needed to succeed in whatever path they choose after graduation. This slide features quotes and reflections directly from students currently in our alternative education programs. Their words provide insight into how these programs impact their learning, growth, and sense of belonging. Through these reflections, we see how students feel supported, engaged, and empowered to take ownership of their education. They highlight the aspects of the program that inspire them, motivate them, and help them succeed academically and personally. By centering student voices in our planning, we ensure that the new school will continue to meet those needs, amplify those strengths, and create an environment where every student feels seen, valued, respected, and capable of achieving their goals. As we look to the future, our focus remains on building strong community connections, supporting meaningful growth for every student, and ensuring that all learners have opportunities and resources that they need. Rancho Cordova is a vibrant, diverse community with a strong sense of pride. We envision a school that expands its partnerships and continues to celebrate its rich diversity. This represents a small vision of current community partnerships from Yara, Sacramento Food Bank, and the Rancho Cordova Food Bank. Families are engaged through these programs as a central hub of belonging. We've consulted with local business leaders to analyze industry trends and gather student feedback, helping us identify CTE programs that align with workforce needs and student interests. Our culinary and welding programs at Kenny High School have been highly successful, and we plan to continue to expand on those offerings. The Culinary Arts program, in partnership with SMUD, will feature an all-electric kitchen, providing students with hands-on, sustainable learning experiences. There is also a strong interest in developing fire science and emergency medical response pathways in partnership with SAC Metro, preparing students for critical first responder careers. As we're exploring innovative programs in AI, data science, and computer sciences, giving students access to high demand and edge-cutting career pathways. These pathways provide students with academic and technical skills, as well as industry-recognized certifications, positioning them for immediate employment or further education after graduation. So as we conclude, I want to overemphasize that reimagining alternative education in Folsom Cordova is about expanding choice, expanding equity, and expanding opportunities for students. Over the last 2 years, our team has engaged deeply with students, families, staff, and community partners to envision a model that meets students where they are and supporting where they're going. Our vision for the new school on Prospect Park Drive is to create a robust student program that identifies, engages, and assists students with their academic, social-emotional needs, ensuring equitable access to educational outcomes. This school will offer more choice for all students in Folsom Cordova and their families. This includes students who are enrolled currently in our program. We will increase access to a variety of academic courses, as mentioned earlier. Our students will be able to move seamlessly through pathways. Students will continue to complete A through G coursework and meet college and career readiness requirements. Students will be prepared to graduate with a diploma and/or industry-recognized certification, and every student has access to a program that's engaging and designed for them to thrive. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It is a special presentation, but I actually am going to open it up for comments from the board, questions. I did have one. Back on page 8, you mentioned the partnerships with the community college. Was that just Folsom Lake College or other colleges within the Los Rios system?
Or Walnutwood?
Our post-high school planning.
Is that the correct slide?
No, the dual enrollment with community college. It just says community college. I'm just kind of curious. 8. Yep.
Dual enrollment. I'm sorry,
Yeah, was it just Folsom Lake College or is it colleges within the Los Rios?
It's colleges within Los Rios. So we
Okay.
do tend to lean Folsom Lake because it's
Oh, yeah,
closer, and we have
absolutely.
the Rancho Community Center. But we've had students at the Placerville Center, several at Sierra College, because for a minute their CTE program was a little bit better.
Right.
And then, but mostly within Los Rios.
So the choice, I mean, Sac City or American
Sac City,
River.
whichever one they want. We're trying to find the program that fits them and then
Perfect.
works for their transportation needs.
Okay, and also the only other comment I had is I try to drive away from that at risk. I love the word at promise. But yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's a great presentation. I loved it. Any other comments, questions from the board?
I just have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I would venture to say that this conversation started long before 2023, which was introduced on this, because when I was 2017, 2018. This was a conversation we started having, so much needed. This is a question, and I know that there's not an immediate answer. I asked Mr. Swanson earlier, but I was just curious for numbers in terms of students that leave our district to find other alternative options that we don't currently have that this new model will allow us to have. So it's being gathered, but I do know we have a number of them that do leave our district for neighboring districts that have programs that we don't quite offer. And so I love the idea that it's individualized. I love that we can be one-on-one with the student, find out what they need. So I love everything about it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll just make one comment, Mr. President. Thank you for emphasizing the word alternative is not for the trouble kids, that kind of thing. It is a school of choice. School of choice, right? You know, everyone brain cells that chips will click for something, not for the education, right? Thank you.
And Mr. Clark, I too love the phrase at promise, but I listed at risk because that is the phrase that it's a layman's term, right? Most people.
No, absolutely.
put that on
I
label, but
just
yes,
say that
at
because
promise.
whenever you're at like an event or a perfect example at a CSBA conference, they drive that, oh, we're at promise. So, you know, I just prefer that word. I don't know, it's all good. All right, other than that, thank you, amazing.
Thank you.
Great job. All right. Looks like we're at item 9, public comment. Time will be given to speakers at the discretion of the board chairperson. The law allows the public to address the board on any matter not on the agenda, but the law prohibits action by the board on non-agenda items. With that being said, Ms. Rochelle, I'll turn that over to you, ma'am.
Okay, so first we have Ms. Konwinski. If you could please come to the podium, followed by Ms. Natoli.
Good evening again, board members and Superintendent Swanson. My name is Allison Konwinski, and I have a 4th grader and 2 second graders at Theodore Judah Elementary. I am here to update you on the 2 classes highlighting the systemic problems at Theodore Judah since I spoke at the last board meeting. First, my daughter's 4th grade class. Her classroom did not have a permanent teacher, but rather a rotating door of substitutes with no curriculum or structure. As of last week, she finally has a permanent teacher, almost halfway through the school year. I appreciate your efforts to secure stability in the classroom. However, I need to remind everyone this was avoidable. Mrs. Bratton was the first teacher in that classroom. She had been a long-term substitute at Theodore Judah and actually wanted to teach at that school. The kids knew her. She loved the students. Then the district chose to play musical chairs with teachers, and my daughter's education paid the price. Then we have the 2nd grade classroom. Last I was here, many parents brought up the safety concerns and lack of structure in learning. As a reminder, scissors had been thrown at the teacher, safe words have been established, the class is evacuated regularly, and lesson plans cannot be taught. Last week, the teacher took a leave of absence until mid-January. At least 5 students have unenrolled from that class, and over 10 students in that class did not go to school last week. One teacher may have been found, but you just lost another. And now you're going to have another class lacking curriculum and structure on top of the ongoing safety concerns. As a reminder, the same thing happened 2 years ago to kids in the current 4th grade class that just got a permanent teacher. As I said, there is a systemic problem at Theodore Judah that desperately needs to be addressed. I have been in contact with Superintendent Swanson and understand plans are put in place for this year. But let's plan for these issues occurring next year. Support the staff at Theodore Judah and hold on to the teachers that want to be there. No teacher swaps once the school year starts. Limit the number of inter-district transfers allowed from one school. Have the paras and behavioral support staff on site and ready from day 1. Hire a permanent vice principal. Move the academy so the school can qualify for Title I funding. Currently, Theodore Judah acts as 2 schools with the academy. Therefore, provide the admin staff and support staff for 2 schools. You undoubtedly will have these issues next year, as history has shown, until the district decides to make the change. My children's education relies on that change. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Natoli. Followed by Ms. Ratterman.
Buenos noches. Soy Nani Natoli. Me encanta aprender español, which means good evening. My name is Nani Natoli. I love learning Spanish. I've been learning Spanish for most of my life at Folsom Hills Elementary. I began in kindergarten, and now I'm in Miss Coriano's 3rd grade class. My older sister Avery was also a part of the Spanish program and learned so much. If you were to go into Miss Coriano's 3rd grade classroom during Spanish time, you would hear everyone speaking Spanish. You would see a big smile on everyone's face, and you'd feel a calm, focused environment. And if you were lucky enough, you might even get to eat homemade buttery tortillas from when Ivana's mom came and taught us how to make tortillas. This program is important to me and my classmates. When we learn Spanish in class, everyone is really engaged and we can focus better. When we learn about other cultures, we can understand even more about them. For example, we learned about Cesar Chavez, who spoke up to get farm workers' rights through nonviolent methods. The program is not just teaching us Spanish. It also helps us learn to appreciate people with other backgrounds and cultures. The Spanish program is a great opportunity to learn another language, learn about other cultures while you are still young. Why get rid of that? Spanish means a lot to everyone here. Please don't give up on it. Thank you for your time. Now we will sing you a song called De Colores. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que ven allá afuera. De colores en las árboles debemos lucir. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Bam, bam, bam.
Thank you so much. You know where I'm going with this, right? I mean, would you be so kind as to come back up here, because I think as a board member, I'm hoping my colleagues would agree. I gotta get a picture with you all. I really do. Would you be so kind to come up, and the board can come down, and parents, please take pictures. We're coming right down to you.
Okay, I'm going to make sure. After I get a shot, all right? Guys are adorable. I'm gonna ask you also to move in a little bit centered, okay? So right here, Folsom Hills boxes, right? And you know what? Can we have you guys in front? Oh, yeah, look, it's like that your first time ever taking a picture. You know what you're doing. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have all the tall folks stand in the back. Stay on your feet. This looks wonderful. Okay. All right, all right. Very, very cute. Hold on a second. There we go, there we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so don't move, because I promised your parents to give a chance to take a picture. Okay, so.
Again, thank you, parents. I couldn't pass a chance. So, Ms. Rochelle, let's continue.
Yes, if we could please have Ms. Roderman, sorry. Followed by Ms. Cortez.
Good evening, President Clark, trustees, Superintendent Swanson, and everyone here tonight. My heart is so full. Thank you all for that wonderful rendition of the Colores. I'm so proud. My name is Yolanda Moreno Ratterman, and I'm a Folsom Hills parent. As I shared in my email to you this morning, many families at our school are asking for a full and transparent review of the decision to end the FLES Spanish program. In my professional work in public education, I regularly work with program requirements and implementation procedures, and tonight I'm here as a parent who wants this decision to be based on complete information and aligned with California's expectations for equity in a broad course of study. We understand that scheduling and staffing are complex, and we respect the work of district leadership and our teachers. Our request tonight is simple and very reasonable. We're asking for a temporary pause to the termination of the FLES program so that key pieces of information can be gathered and reviewed before first interim staffing and scheduling assumptions become final. In particular, we're asking the board to review 3 things. The equity review required under Education Code 52060, an instructional minutes comparison, straightforward grade-by-grade look at FLES and non-FLES classrooms, showing where the conflict with state requirement truly lies. The school site council and school plan for student achievement process required under Education Code 64001, whether this program change was brought to the school site council and whether changes to the school plan for student achievement were brought to the board. Tonight, I'm also submitting parent input collected under State Title V rules for specifically world language programs, CCR 11312, which shows strong community interest in keeping access to Spanish as part of our children's elementary experience. I respectfully ask that the board place this issue on a future meeting agenda before first interim so families, staff, and district leadership can review the analysis together and consider alternatives to sunsetting the FLES program. We're not asking for an immediate reversal. We are asking for due process, an equity-focused review,
3 seconds remaining,
and the chance to work together on solutions that protect both core instruction and early world language access. It's not a request for reversal. It's simply a request for more time. Thank you for your time and for your service to students and families.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I submit the input forms?
Ms. Cortez, followed by Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, can you please come to the podium? Followed by Mr. Brown.
Good evening, board members and district leadership. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Patrick Thomas. I'm a parent at Folsom Hills, Sutter Middle School, and my oldest son just graduated from Folsom High School last year. Tonight, I am asking for one simple thing, a pause. A pause in closing the FLES Spanish program so that the district can work with parents and teachers to save it. For more than 20 years, FLES has been an incredible opportunity for our children. It is the only elementary Spanish program in FCUSD, and once it's gone, our students may never get an opportunity like this again to learn Spanish within the district. The program costs the district almost nothing, as existing teachers incorporate Spanish instruction without additional staffing or expense. Yet it delivers clear academic, cultural, and developmental benefits. Closing a low-cost, highly effective program and replacing it with nothing does not serve students. Spanish is the second most spoken language in California. It is essential in our community and central to the identity of many FCUSD families. Closing the district's sole elementary Spanish program removes a pathway that supports academic success, cultural inclusion, and community connection. We also face real staffing challenges. Anecdotally, my oldest son had a Spanish teacher at Folsom High who did not speak Spanish. My wife, a native Spanish speaker, noticed immediately that the teacher was not fluent. The teacher would mispronounce my son's name, Fabian, every class. Parents want to help. If FLES needs volunteers, we will organize them. If it needs structure or support, we will provide it. But families deserve the chance to try. Right now, many parents feel shut out of the process. I emailed the district seeking basic information and received no response. So I'm asking, pause the closure, meet with parents and teachers, and give the community a chance to save a program that has benefited students for 2 decades. If after genuine collaboration, parents cannot sustain it, then revisit the decision, but do not end the program without giving families the opportunity to save it. Please work with us to preserve something meaningful for our children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown, followed by Ms. Kringler.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Matthew Brown, and I'm a Folsom Hills parent with a background in data and analysis. So I'll focus on a few concerns around how we make data-driven decisions on programs like FLES. Families have been told that FLES students receive reduced instructional minutes. That's a valid concern, assuming it's backed by data. If an instructional minutes audit or some type of quantitative comparison has been completed, it hasn't been presented to the community. And without actual data, neither the community nor the board can properly evaluate the validity of the claim that instructional minutes have been reduced. And we can't engage in an informed debate about whether it's necessary to eliminate the program. From a governance standpoint, program elimination generally requires a clear process. Transparency about the data being used, review of equity impacts established under district equity protocols, appropriate engagement of the school site council, board access to the underlying analysis before a budget action makes the change effectively permanent. From a data standpoint, my request is this. Before making any decisions on the FLES program, the board should receive, number one, the instructional minutes analysis supporting the rationale. Number two, the equity impact review conducted under district policy. Number three, documentation of the SPSA school site council process. Number four, the legal and compliance review addressing whether the revised elementary course of study continues to meet state expectations. These are standard components of proper program modification in California public schools. We respectfully ask that the board not allow first interim to function as a de facto approval of program elimination until these reviews are completed and presented publicly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kringler, followed by Ms. Romo Monroy.
Good evening, board members. My name is Janine Kringler, and I am actually reading a speech prepared by another mom who had to leave early. She is both a parent and an educator. I'm not an educator, but I'm also a parent at Folsom Hills. That's why I volunteered to do this. But as an educator, she wanted to emphasize that the world language instruction is not extra. It is not enrichment in the casual sense. Research consistently shows that early world language supports improved reading development, cognitive flexibility, cultural awareness, and stronger academic engagement, as you've seen from our children here today. The California EL Roadmap and the State Board of Education and the Global California 2030 Initiative all reinforce the importance of the world language exposure at the elementary level. If a program like the FLES is being removed, best The best practice in California's own guidance is to ensure a documented instructional minutes comparison, a clear rationale tied to the state requirements, a review of the alternatives, and the equity analysis showing how students from all backgrounds are affected. We have not yet seen those components as the other parents have mentioned. I'm not here to argue against the district. I'm here to support a thoughtful and transparent process. As an educator, I know how important it is that decisions about instructional programs are tied to data, not assumptions. And we respectfully ask that the board pause the implementation of the instructional minutes, audit, and SPSA documentation, and an equity review can be completed and publicly reviewed. That's the end of her speech, and since I have a minute, I'm just gonna add a little bit of my own thoughts. I grew up going to Folsom Hills, and I've lived in the neighborhood for over 30 years. We left the neighborhood to pursue college dreams and other things like that. But when we moved back, I intentionally moved back to this area of Folsom Hills because of the childhood that I had and the ability to have these programs. And I know other people are, wanting those as well. That's why they, opt into these. So like I said, I moved specifically back and brought my children back to this neighborhood that I grew up in for these type of things. And I just want to add that it's really, really important because my kids went to private school before this. And so, like I said, I chose to take them out of private school for this program. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Romo Monroy, followed by Ms. Doss.
Good evening, board members. I know my English is not perfect, but I'm gonna do my best. My name is Sofia Romo, and I am the parent of an English learner at Folsom Hills. I want to share why the Spanish program matters so much for families like mine. For English learners, school can often feel overwhelming. They spend their entire day trying to keep up in English. Spanish class is the one place where they feel like at home. My daughter participates more in Spanish class than in any part of the day because it feels familiar, welcoming, and connected to who they are. Removing the Spanish program does not just remove a language class. It removes a place where English learners feel confident and included, which is a key part of the California English Learner Roadmap. That roadmap says that a school must give English learners access to a broad and rich curriculum, including world languages. Ended the program moves us in the opposite direction. A Spanish class helps English learners develop oral languages skills, participate more socially, and feel proud of their identities. Without it, we worried that our children will lose one of the few spaces where they truly thrive. We are respectfully asking you to pause this decision until the board can review the equity impact on English learners, students. We want to make sure our students are not overlooked. Thank you for listening and for your commitment to equity. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Ms. Doss, followed by Mr. Smith.
Good evening, board members. I come unprepared. I just found out from one of my students' parents that the Spanish program was at risk, so that's why I'm here this evening. I jammed over here to give my comments. So the program means a lot to me, and the reason why is because I send students to Folsom Hills. The students learn Spanish in my preschool program, and they love it. And they love it so much that I was inspired to become a PYP candidate at school, which I just found out I am now that. And the reason why I say this is out of pride because we want to think global mindedness, right? That's what that program's all about. That's why I send my students there. Those students that I send there are so excited to learn more Spanish and learn more about the culture in addition to the regular studies. I mean, how many preschool students and kindergarten students go there thinking, I want to learn more, right? And so I just wanted to express that I really think this program is like a beacon for Folsom. And I would really be sad not to be able to send students there anymore. And I come here tonight because I'm really busy, but they wanted me to come and speak and tell you from my perspective. And I would hope that you would really consider it. And I appreciate everything that you do. I know there's a lot and budget matters, but this program is a beacon. And we've got to think globally because we want to be able to have our students make a difference and for our communities to thrive even better. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, followed by Ms. Heine.
Board, Mr. Swanson, wow, it's another one. Another area. We got the physics, we got the math at Sutter, we got the jazz situation, and now we have a Spanish thing that costs you nothing? Is this all under the Curriculum Advisory Committee? I'm sorry, I was wrong. I guess Ms. Lofthouse goes to every curriculum committee meeting. Last week, Faith had a performance, so I couldn't be here. So I watched the YouTube. And when Mr. YK called for a discussion about the physics situation or about AP classes in general, Ms. Lofthouse, you said, oh, but we can't interfere with the teacher's assessment, the teacher's grades. Yes, that's true. If it's fair. If the teacher is teaching the curriculum that they're testing on, it becomes a different matter. You understand? You guys hold a responsibility to educate the community. And if someone's falling short of that, it needs to be addressed. Can't lean on, well, we can't do anything if a teacher is tenure. If I did that when it came to family court, then I wouldn't have sole custody of Faith. The other thing that I want to mention is the culture. I see people's Facebooks when they go on trips, on breaks. This physics class, the math students. Since I grew up in martial arts, I hold close to the Asian community. We don't do trips. We don't go to Hawaii. I take that money I would spend on Hawaii and I put it in my child in summer programs to educate her and strengthen her future because you have the rest of your adult life to have fun. That is the culture of the Indian community. That's the culture of the Chinese community. Filipinos who have it, that is their culture as well. Mexicans who have it as their culture as well. You gotta understand, there's a value, and you have parents coming up here trying to fight for their education, but yet we still see district ignoring it. When will it stop? Last year, I heard the same complaints from parents. Even the teachers union saying, we want better training. We want this for our teachers, but it's still an ongoing, and Faith, she was a part of that thing at Theodore Judah with fourth grade. It's just, I had her at Sherman Oaks, public school with private education. She was just so strong, and I did with the summer programs to make sure she was strong. You guys gotta get on, you guys gotta get your act together.
Thank you. Ms. Heine?
Good evening, board. I'll be brief. I just had some questions and I didn't get my speaking slip in time for the, it was agenda or consent agenda F with our curriculum approval of the new, or continuing for the next 5 years, I think is what most of them were. And I just had some questions. I know we're facing a huge budget crisis, right? I'm interested in the comparison of a cost of a physical textbook versus the annual yearly cost of the online. Online, they say it's about half the cost to pay for the digital textbooks versus the physical ones. I don't know what that actually looks like for our district. I also have lots of concerns being in the classroom a lot. We know there's tons of studies out there that physical textbooks improve retention and reading depth. They are active learning and engage deep reading. And like some of the studies say like 6 to 8 times the benefits. Our students are so distracted with their Chromebooks. If I could put that genie back in the bottle, like they would not be in the classroom. As we go around, we see, 15 tabs open, right? Like they're supposed to be doing their math, they're supposed to be doing that, and they'll jump back to it. But they cannot focus. And when we continue to buy digital curriculum only, I feel like besides cost, we also really need to look at what that digital curriculum is doing to our students and their ability to learn. These kids cannot sit still. They cannot focus. They cannot follow directions. And we're hoping that like the TK kid or the kindergarten kids are the COVID babies. We're hoping that we'll get back and see what classrooms used to look like before we had COVID. But maybe it's not, because we've changed a lot of things about a classroom. And developmentally, I do not believe that online curriculums and textbooks are the best choice for our children. And I really hope that that is considered, also the cost consideration, when we are looking at these matters. Thank you.
Thank you. That is all the requests I've received.
Is that it? Okay. Got it. All right. Makes sense. All right. We'll go on. I believe we're on to item 10. Yep. Reports of district organizations. We'll start off with our Student Advisory Board member, Ms. Eveline.
So, sorry. Last Thursday, me and Addie had our Student Advisory Board meeting at Mitchell Middle School. It was a chaotic day due to the rain, but all was well. We got to make sure the presentation was working, and then we had a couple issues, but it turned out okay. So some things that we discussed during our meeting was Winter Wonderland, and we're securing a location, and we're working very closely with Mr. Maroon to see where exactly it's going to be. During our presentation, Addie shared how to speak a public comment during a board meeting for any students that were interested in and aren't aware on how to do it. And then we had school ambassador updates, so it's kind of like the school representatives, and they explained what was going on at their respective school sites. And then we had every single SAB member meet with their committees to finalize or plan future events that go along with their committees. That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. California School Employees Association.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Swanson. I am pleased to report we have come to a tentative agreement for Article 8 in negotiations. This was a goal of ours since the beginning of the school year to close out negotiations for the current contract, or CBA. Once this is ratified, this will close out that CBA, and we will begin openers for the next school year, beginning 26-27. We hope to have openers ready for you by February, if not sooner. Counting on February, though. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend. That's all I got tonight.
All right, thank you, sir. Folsom Cordova Education Association. Thank you, ma'am. Folsom Cordova Leadership Association.
Similarly, good evening, President Clark, board members, Superintendent Swanson. So as we approach Thanksgiving break, I'd like to take a brief moment just to reflect. Many of us in this room have so much to be thankful for, and it's important for us to keep in mind those in our communities and schools that may not be as fortunate as us during this time. And on behalf of our team, we want to extend our gratitude for all the work our colleagues, CSCA, FCEA, and all of you do for all of our students, and we wish our students and families a safe and restful and happy Thanksgiving break.
All right, thank you, sir. District
English Learner Advisory Committee.
No report tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. And board committees.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
All right, just 3 committees this meeting to report on from the last board meeting. On November 14th, the Facilities Committee meeting met. Board Member Larrett and I attended that meeting. Before I get into all the items that we discussed at that meeting, there was one decision or recommendation that the committee did have for the board that I wanted to share, which is we have on our future agenda planning a placeholder to discuss secondary school boundaries. The recommendation of the Facilities Committee is to take that off of future agenda planning. There's a lot of moving parts right now. It's not that it's not important. It's not that it won't be back before the board. It's just we have to go through certain processes before it's timely to bring it back to the board. So if the board concurs, we'll remove that from the future board agenda.
All right, is there a consensus on that? I don't think it needs to be like an action item. All right, awesome.
All right, at that meeting was actually a pretty long meeting. We got an update on the new 500 to 800 school that we're going to be building or opening in Rancho Cordova. We also had a comprehensive facilities plan update. Basically, was the last conversation before it goes live, and that comprehensive plan, which we were presented at the last board meeting, will be going live in December. We also discussed Theodore Judah fencing. Staff has agreed to replace the 4-foot fencing along the front of Theodore Judah with the iron fencing that we've been installing at other elementary schools. That fencing project will be done in the summertime. So obviously, both Jen and I express our appreciation on staff for agreeing to do that. We also had an update on the Cordova High admin and library, as well as an update on the Cordova Villa plans and timeline as well. And I believe Cordova Villa, there's an item on that coming up tonight. We also discussed maximization of project communications with the community to make sure the community is aware of everything that the district is doing in the area of facilities. Also, just a general question of were there any Christmas break or winter break projects? It was just more maintenance related that staff is going to go work on during that time. But that's a quick update on the facilities meeting on November 14th. We also, or I should say, I also participated on November 17th on the new middle school design planning meeting. That particular meeting was discussing the nursing area in the plans for the new middle school and high school. And then finally on November 19th, there's a policy committee meeting that board member Lofthouse and I attended and went through a number of proposed edits to policies. Most of them dealt with recommendations from CSBA. A couple were related to actually recommendations that this board asked for on changes for both the intra-district and intra-district policy. I know it was a while ago. I think we had our meeting in February when that request was made. I think we are finally at the tail end of the process, and it will be before the board, the recommendations, the first meeting in January. That is my update. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other board committee reports?
Go ahead. Oh, sorry, I just had one. I participated actually with FCEA on the Charrette for the new high school, middle school on the internal decor and materials. And I will tell you, it is far from just picking colors. It is an intensive process, and there's lots of things to consider. And I will tell you that we were talking a lot about not just cost, but durability factors and different things like that, going through options that we have. So I just want the public to know this is not a process that we take lightly. There was lots of discussion at the table, specifically around costs of things, but also the longevity of items, you know, and taking a lot into consideration for our maintenance teams and facilities teams about how things will be able to be maintained and how they're gonna withstand the test of time without being over the top on costs. So lots of discussion. We definitely took a lot of the designs and we cut back quite a few things, I would say. And, you know, really talking with FCEA about, you know, teachers' perspectives on some of those spaces and things like that too, and some improvements that we could make that I think would make it more comfortable for our teachers also to be able to be in those spaces. So just as we kind of go through this process, just for a full transparency, we are, again, just really looking at those costs and making sure that we're doing our due diligence on that. So that's it.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
I just had the CIC meeting in November. There were 3 revision courses and 5 new courses. One that I'm super excited that the district will be offering, which is called Artivism. It's an ethnic studies in the visual arts class. So those come forward to the board, I think in maybe December. It's usually like 1 in between, sometimes 2, depending on the amount of revisions that they had to make. So that's all.
Right, thank you. Okay, there is no public hearing. We will go on to item 12. Item A, approve annual organizational meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District Board of Trustees set for Thursday, December 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Education Service Center, Rancho Cordova, California. Superintendent, did you want to elaborate on that a little bit
You
more?
pretty much said it all. It's just pursuant of ed code. There's a 15-day window in December when we have to do our reorganization meeting. This often is really critical after an election cycle because this is the meeting that we're installing a new board member, but this isn't an election cycle, but we still have the ed code. And so at that meeting, we will do our reorganization of voting for a new president, vice president, clerk, also board committees, and so on and so forth. So this is the approval of hosting that meeting on December 11th,
All right,
which is a regular scheduled board meeting.
Yes, sir. Any additional comments, questions from the board? Take it out to public. Obviously, probably hearing none. We'll bring it back to the board, and I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Lofthouse.
And second.
Second by Board Member Charles. Ma'am?
Thank you. Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalam-Churla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Item B, approve the proposal from Prime Design for value engineering services for Cordova Villa Elementary School Modernization Project. Superintendent.
Absolutely. So the next 2 items are both facility items. So inviting Executive Director Rouse to the podium to speak to them. This, of course, is from direction of the board a while back, making sure that we're doing some value engineering to make sure each taxpayer dollar goes the furthest. Mr. Rouse, if you'd like to share a little bit more about what value engineering means.
Yes. Well, good evening, Board President Clark, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Swanson. So value engineering is a process of where firms come in and work with the architectural team, and we look at how the projects are designed. And like you said earlier, Jennifer, as we take a look at best product value, longevity, and then is it part of your district standards? And you bring a project back into budget in the scope, so you don't have scope creep, excuse me. So tonight we're bringing forward, the Prime Design contract for approval. District staff has reviewed the proposal from Prime Design and has submitted it for board approval. Prime Design has proven expertise, a collaborative approach, and is aligned with the district goals and cost efficiency, functionality, and schedule reliability. Their involvement is expected to add significant value to the planning and design process for the Cordova Villa Elementary School modernization project. So staff is bringing forward a recommendation or a motion for the Board of Education to approve the proposal from Prime Design for the engineering services for the Cordova Villa Elementary School modernization project, and for the district to authorize staff to execute all necessary documents.
All right, any questions from the board? Comments? I'm hearing none. Out to the public, obviously none. Back to the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Board Member Loftout, second by, did you second that?
Yeah.
What, Board Member Chowchella, Ms. Rochelle?
Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Churla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, ma'am. We will move on to item C, and we still have you up here, so slow with it.
Aye, yes.
PowerPoint?
While Mr. Rouse is grabbing the clicker, I just, not to put him on the spot or anything, but I would like to publicly congratulate Mr. Rouse on becoming a grandparent for the first time on November 11th. So his son had a baby girl, so he is just smitten with the girl.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's a general contractor, right? So he's already over there building stuff, so yeah.
And she's gonna get a parade every November 11th for.
So, congratulations.
Pretty cool. Thank you for mentioning that. Tonight, we're gonna talk about the Cordova Villa Elementary School, the new construction modernization project, the lease-leaseback contractor selection process. And in the overview, we'll be talking about the RFP solicitation and submission selection process, and then discussion at the end. So we start off with the request for proposal. We advertise it in local publications in the SACB. It was also posted on the Folsom Cordova Unified School District website, published it in 3 trade journals, and directly shared it with local contractors, basically did some bid solicitation to get them excited about bidding our project. We had 10 submissions that were received in the RFP. That's a really good response for this type of project. Here are the firms. I won't go through the list, but here are the 10 firms that we had that submitted for the project. And in the selection process, all 10 firms are generally qualified and skilled to construct this project. At this level of project, for them to be able to have the qualified personnel and bonding capacity, as we'll talk about a little bit later in this presentation. The selection process was to select the best value of the 10 contractors that were submitted. The district staff comprised the majority of the selection committee. The quantity of the firms was narrowed based on evaluation of the written submissions, and the best value scores are an average of each of the members' scoring. So the rationale for the 5 firms that did not go to the interview process, they had limited information on technical expertise, project-specific plans were lacking the detail in other submissions. Past performance records were not as strong as the 5 that we moved forward to interview, and the proposed teams were not as strong as the other 5 firms that we took to the interview process. And then the rationale for the teams that went to the next level, they had the strength of the key personnel. They had past performance of related type projects that had a lot of modernization, new buildings on a campus that is what we call live, right? It's active. Kids are still on site. The strength of the specific plans, local experience, and details on pre-construction and process was key. So as we go through the selection criteria, the strength of the key personnel that was dedicated to the project. The key factor is focus on the qualifications of the key on-site personnel, the actual team that was going to deliver this project. And we requested, when they came in for the interview process, that they bring in the site superintendent, the project manager, and the assistant project engineer, we wanted to talk specifically to the folks that were going to be on the job day to day, that were going to interact with our project manager. Technical expertise. Key factor is the depth and breadth of the firm's pre-construction process, past performance record. The key focus here was their experience in this type of school modernization, not only modernization, but a new project, and being able to have disruption plans that were in place. How are you going to get your underground, keep this school operational through the school year? And then part of that process, we contacted these folks. We also had letters of recommendation that were submitted for each firm. And then on the local experience, we would really focus on, folks that had not only worked in the area, but had resources within the Sacramento region. And then they built lease-back projects. That's another layer of being able to do this type of technical project at this level. And then we also looked at their safety record. And what's the safety record of the contractor? What's their scoring process? Price proposal, it's important to note here that it's the price proposal in the submission is not a bid, but it's intended to provide an understanding of what the rates and fee structure will be for each phase of the project going forward. Project plans. This is an opportunity when we talk to the team for them to talk about how are they going to deliver this project, what we call means and method. So they're going to take a look at the scope that was on the plans and the drawings, and they need to talk to us about how they're going to deliver this in a timely fashion and keep the project on budget. And the financial capability, and this really takes a deep dive into, do they have the financial stability and the bonding capacity to do a project of this size? Quick summary of the factors influencing the scoring, qualifications of the day-to-day personnel, the past performance of these types of projects, project-specific plans, the technical expertise for the pre-construction services, and then local experience. So here's a quick summary of scoring, the best value, and you can see across the board how tight that was. And it was a lot of qualified contractors that were brought forward. And Landmark was high, the best value movement, at 545. And then the key factors for selecting Landmark, they really had done projects that were similar to this type of project that we're delivering. And that was a key factor. Strong past performance and replacement construction. The pre-construction services and the interaction of their team with our team was very strong, and then they had a strong local experience. That was a quick overview. Open it up for questions and discussions.
All right, any questions from the board?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a really quick question. We've done work with Landmark in the past, correct?
Folsom Cordova has, yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Any other questions from the board?
Mr. President, just a comment. If you don't mind, can you go back to the slide 21, sir? Oh my God. Look at those numbers, so close. Is it a 0.01% difference on that? Yeah, average, right? It's only 2 points difference between the first person and the second person. No, I'm just giving you the kudos to all of you, whosoever the staff reached out to the bigger pool of very capable vendors and bringing them and competing on this work. So I just want to give you that, I just said it, the word, oh my God, when I saw that number. Usually that's not, but that shows, how much hard work you guys have done to bring the best of the best to our town.
Thank you.
Right? And also quickly, as you and I, generally discussed, as we are going through this value engineering and the second level, lease back, I want to make sure, whosoever is the winner, which is a Landmark, will follow through the best value again, what we as a organization defines. I just want to put that out there, but thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other comments from the board?
Oh my God.
We'll take it out to the public, but I don't think there's any. Ma'am, if I could have you come up to the podium, please. Where, oh, there you are. If you can state your name for the record, I would appreciate it.
Linda Hernandez. I'm new to these meetings, kind of. I've bid on IT type of contracts. I know cost is usually relatively high in the bidding. Is the cost, the price, was that 50 points out of the total? The weighting? Is that the weighting? The cost was 50 points out of it? Okay, I just seems relatively low, and local companies being weighted heavily. To me, that just seems a little odd. I'm sure it's fine, but I just, as a taxpayer, question it a little bit, because I think local, sometimes, I've seen that in contracts where it's a select group that we put bids out to, and that changes who bids. So, just a comment.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Bringing it back.
I don't have any questions, mostly just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Cannot wait for this project to start. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just like very excited for this community to be able to really get that amazing school that they deserve. And, you know, I'm very excited to see the portables gone, and that can't come soon enough. So, or the round building being gone cannot come soon enough. So, just very excited about the project. I super appreciate the speed from the time that we've like had a bond to the point that we've already gotten to this point. The facility team has been just like cranking through as fast as they can, you know, while doing their due diligence. So appreciate all the outreach that you've done on these projects, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, thank you. Any other comments from the board? And if not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Reed, second by Board Member Larrett. Ms. Rochelle?
Ms. Lopez Petracca?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Churla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, thank you. That concludes our discussion action items. We will go on to item 13, Superintendent's Report.
Yes, sir. In the month of thankfulness, I want to extend some thankfulness, but focused on as the board knows, we have as a district of our collective commitments, and there are 5 of them. And our first collective commitment is care for people. And I'm going to just share a few things that have been happening around here that is evidence of that. And for certain, it's not an exhaustive list of all the amazing work that's happening with our certificated and classified teammates out there. But this is what I'm aware of or have participated in. And so I'm not sure if it was mentioned at our last board meeting, but based on a lot of the food insecurity that's going on right now for some of our families, I know that the Kinney Culinary Program produced 250 meals to share with the community. And then our community schools team, led by Kate Hazarian and Carla, really put together a food drive district-wide, as well as are participating at the Rancho Cordova Food Bank, and invited the organization to volunteer. And so all executive cabinet members, I think already have, I think they're all expected to volunteer. I think they already have, and no comment about any executive cabinet members getting reprimanded on, you know, their work there. Just kidding. So we've all had an opportunity to volunteer at the Rancho Cordova Food Bank. And I will say it is an incredibly heartwarming opportunity for us to serve our community in a different way. And I just really appreciate the team. And also I know that it's far more than the executive cabinet team. I know ADP and other teams are out there volunteering, and community schools team is regularly out there. And again, to be able to serve in that way is really heartwarming. A couple more, we did a blood drive here, Vitalint, and 2 important points. We donated 23 pints of blood here from the ESC. And we have a therapy dog that works in the building some of the time, and our therapy dog was a big hit at the blood drive. So Vitalent wants their own therapy dog, I guess. So, and then lastly, you learned at the beginning of this year, Dr. Pease had a vision around legacy employees and some pins, and we actually pinned a couple board members and Dr. Huber. And so this week, throughout this week, cabinet members are delivering the legacy employee pin. So just a reminder, legacy employee pin is someone who works in our district, who graduated or was promoted from one of our schools. And we're out and we're taking pictures. We had folks out today. I know Dr. Pitt was at Kinney today. I was at Russell Ranch today. I got to sit crisscross applesauce on a carpet at Russell Ranch in a kindergarten class. And I didn't know how hard it would be to do that and how hard it would be to stand up after that. Getting old is awesome. So I will say that our employees are surprised and overwhelmed. It's a nice pin, but it's a pin. But how appreciative they are that they feel seen and cared for, and how much we appreciate them for growing up in our community and returning to work in our community. So as finishing out our exemplifying in the month of November how we are trying to model care for people as one of our collective commitments. Thank you so much to our union partners and all of our employees out there. Happy Thanksgiving. So many people have earned a week off. Some of us will be working a couple days next week, but for those who have the whole week off, enjoy the week off. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you, sir. Board member Evelyn.
Hello. Okay. Just as Superintendent Swanson mentioned, at Cordova, we also had a food drive in collaboration with Vista Del Lago to support the students and the families affected by the SNAP benefits or other food insecurities with food and hygiene products. And then today was the first basketball boys game, home game, and ASB had a Thanksgiving feast, so I got to eat lots and lots of cultural and yummy food. And then we have Thanksgiving break coming up, but I was discussing with Addie, like, is it really gonna be a break for us? Because UC and CSU apps deadline is December 1st. So I'm gonna be grinding on just finishing those up. And then a Spirit Week is coming up for Cordova High. And we have decided on the days of December 1st and the 5th. And then December 2nd, me and Addie have a CSBA Student Board Member Program Conference at the Safe Credit Union. So I'm very excited to meet new people and connect with other people, yeah. And then Addie wanted to apologize for not saying, or for missing most of the board meeting. But she's at her cross-country senior night, so she left me a mini essay to read out for her board member report. So she says, if you walked on to Vista's campus this week, you would have been bombarded by bells, cheers, and loud music of student government officers collecting cans for Vista's Spirit of Vista Giving Drive that collected canned food and non-perishable goods to be donated to local food banks. Vista also collected menstrual hygiene products as a part of a hygiene drive organized by Vista's Menstrual Equity Club. And additionally, Vista's cross-country varsity boys and girls team qualified for the state cross-country meet, which is next Saturday. Vista's student Abby Lynn also qualified for state and girls golf. And that is it for both of us. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, ma'am. Board member
Chalam Charla. Okay, sir. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And, I want to start with one very touchy thing for me. I want to start with the citizens of Folsom and Rancho Cordova for trusting me and voting in this seat here. This is my first year. And you all know I'm a first generation immigrant. You all can hear I still have a thick accent, very thick. And there are so many, people like me, but they don't have a voting power yet. But still, You all trusted me and have seen me through and put me in this seat. Thank you, all the citizens, everyone watching, and all of you. And also, I want to call out one more very important thing. I can't achieve this one back home in my mother country. So the profound United States Constitution is giving me the power for those humble people, serving people, to put me in this. Thank you again, one more time. This is my first year, being here. And in addition, for sure, my colleagues, this is my first year. You guys held me. This is almost a year. I want to sincerely thank you. I know I was not perfect on knowing the processes, but you guys helped me in a big way. And my buddy, thank you. And he's helping me here with my beard too. And all your cabinet team, everyone here, cabinet team. I know sometimes, I ask questions. I wish, I had to ask those questions to learn myself. I always, put that in front of you, but you guys handled me very well. Thank you again. Of course, my good friend, Rishal and Martha. I know, oh my God, it's a big deal keeping up with these, board members here, but you guys, so awesome. Thank you again. And my union friends, this is again my first year. I still haven't met some of you, but I promise I'm going to turn into my second year to meet all of you, to exchange my ideas and my thoughts as well. But for all the teachers who are watching, each and every one, and the classified staff, everyone, and our leadership, sir, please pass my sincere appreciation. This is the time I really want to take 2 minutes, even though I wish I could have asked my president to. I'm going to take this extra minute to thank each and every one of you. And this is what I'm going to again conclude. To start with, thank you for giving me this leadership role to serve all of you. I'm going to work hard, and I'm usually going to question the status quos for the betterment only, but I'm a collaborator and I build partnership. Thank you again for this life and all of you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right, Board Member Reed.
Just want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Board Member Larrett.
Yeah, I just have one quick thing. I just want to remind everyone that the Giving Machine is opened up at the Galleria Mall, and we will have it there until the 8th. And we do have a local charity in there this year, and the local charity from our particular area is Jake's Journey Home. So if you go to the Giving Machine, you can select different items that are for different, I think there's 4 local charities and then 4 international charities. This year, the featured animal is a goat, so you could buy a baby goat for a village somewhere overseas. So, or a local charity here. So if you make it up to the Galleria Mall, go check it out. It's downstairs over by the Christmas tree. And you just punch in your number and you can select the different items and it drops in and then it goes to the different charities. So last year for the Rancho Food Hub, we raised like $45,000 for just that one local charity. So just a reminder. So thank you so much and have a good Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Board Member Lofthouse.
I also don't have that much this evening, and I don't want to steal your thunder if you're going to talk about the hats. Okay. We had a student earlier that dropped off approximately, if I had to guess, I think there's probably close to 200 beanies that Crochet Club at Folsom High and teamed up with, okay, perfect. Teamed up with the Lions Club and they crocheted beanies and dropped them off and for our students in need. And so I just wanted to acknowledge her for bringing them. She was too nervous to make a presentation this evening, but next year she said she would. So I wanted to acknowledge her and her gift to Folsom Cordova. And that's all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Right, thank you. Yeah, I was going to mention that, and I appreciate working with her and her mom and trying to get her here, and that she wanted to go to different schools to drop beanies off. I said, hey, just bring it here, do a presentation, and we'll accept them. But like Board Member Lofthouse said, she's coming back with more donations, but she's going to bring a couple of her friends, I think two more people from Sac City Unified to come up and do a special presentation for the board and the district. The section semifinals is this Friday, or this Friday at Folsom High. Please come out and support Folsom's team. I'm looking forward to it. Might be a really good game against Monterey Trail. I think our superintendent used to be involved with Monterey Trail. So
Go Bulldogs.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you're not on the other side. But anyway, in all seriousness, this is actually my last full public meeting as president, and it's been exciting for me. I've welcomed the opportunity to interact with each and every one of you, working with this incredible staff of this district. I thank you for all your work, putting together presentations and recognizing those groups every meeting. I mean, it meant a lot to me to show the diversity of this district. I will admit, I think I bit off a little bit more than I can chew because I did not anticipate chairing a statewide conference next week, and I'll be glad when that's over, or week after next. And then being part of the CIF, not only the Board of Managers, but the statewide federation. So I want to say to those schools that I didn't visit, I apologize. I'm now starting to get into the swing of things and taking a day off or two from work to go out and visit. I did have the opportunity to go to Folsom Middle, Sutter Middle, and Theodore Judah, where I visited both that second grade class and that fourth grade class that was brought up in discussion earlier today. But I've enjoyed this, sitting up at this dais, working with my colleagues, having the opportunity to discuss different items and making the right decision for, and I think what Mr. Smith said, our customers. Those are our students. So it's been a good ride. I look forward to sitting in on the meeting on December 1st to talk about, is it the 1st or?
Which meeting?
The pre-org, the 8th, okay. See, it couldn't be the 1st because I've got a board meeting, another board meeting. But yeah, I look forward to the conference. I will be so glad when that's over. Like I said, I've been going for the last 9 years, and it's always been a learning experience. I learn something new every time I go. And I hope this time when our board members go that they pick up those nuggets of knowledge. And student board member, you are going to have fun. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to have a good time. Other than that, like I said, thank you. I appreciate all the support. And with that, I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you'll have a chance to enjoy family and recharge and come back after that and keep doing the good work that you do. So I thank you all for riding with me on this. And with that being said, we'll move on to advanced planning. And item A is the next board meeting. The superintendent would, and we have that study session December 8th. Is in person only, no broadcast. And then the regular board meeting and annual organizational meeting is December 11th. Any questions, any comments from the board on that? Cool. We'll go on to our 12-month board calendar. Superintendent, do you have anything on that?
Nothing on the 12-month board
Okay,
calendar.
thank you.
Rochelle and I are working hard to make sure these are evenly paced for us
Thank
for the
you.
year. Yep.
Appreciate that. And C, suggested future agenda items. And those are up. Any board comments, any additions and or subtractions from that? All right. Hearing none. Ms. Rochelle?
Yes, I just wanted to formally recognize about the item Mr. Reed was asking for consensus on.
Yes.
We could formally address that. That was on pulling the boundary topic.
There's consensus. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
We had
consensus on that.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. With that, we do not need to go back to closed session. And if there's nothing else for the good of the order, I will adjourn this meeting.
8-7.